That works. Yep. Cool. All right, trio. Let's go. Hi, everybody. If we all stand right here, we can be on what I like to call a shitty hybrid, where you do your darn best, but it's never as good as you really want it to be. But I'm so happy to be able to see some of the people on Zoom. If you're on Zoom, if you can come on camera, we have you presented here. So we can see your beautiful faces. So please come on camera and participate in the session. I am your District 2 Director, Sarah Ranchler.
And I am Anu Jokinnon. I'm your Program Quality Director this year.
I'm Roxanne Spring, your Club Growth Director.
And together we make the trio. I want to address just 2 questions we got from the survey that you all filled out because you have your meal of choice. One of the questions was, are contests going to be covered in this training? And the answer is no. However, if you are rearing to go on contest training, we have lots of contest training on YouTube from the past years. So you can watch that and get yourself really ahead of the game. But we are already planning a contest training in January for you at the January DECM. It's listed at the bottom of your agenda. So be prepared at the end of January to be learning about contests. And then the second thing was, what scares you about this role? Is anybody scared to be an area director? It's okay if you are. Oh, we got one person. All right, what scares you? Zoom people, if you want to put it in a chat. Hands here. Nobody in the room is scared. Oh wait, Linda.
Got a bunch of liars in the room.
Linda, what scares you?
Scared about it, like just many clubs have experienced Toastmasters and they know more than I do.
Oh.
So if I come in and give a suggestion, are they going to look at me like, are you an idiot?
Sounds like you got a little self-consciousness going on. I think you should take a, yeah. And I think it's okay to offer a suggestion even if you're not as experienced as other people, because we all have different experiences to share.
It's just like you giving an evaluation to a seasoned Toastmaster, right?
Yeah.
It's the same type of deal. There's always something that you can contribute.
Yep.
So your voice matters.
I saw another. Yeah.
I would say it's not being fearful, it's just having some uncertainty about what I'm going to be able to bring to the table and what kind of response I'm going to get.
Yeah.
Wanting to do some good things and be helpful and constructive.
Yeah.
Knowing exactly what the formula is.
Fair. And I don't think there is a mold to fit for every area director. As you'll find out, each area is different. They all have different needs and support requests from the district. So I think you're coming from a great place, a place of curiosity. But one thing I will say is, the more I do Toastmasters, the more I realize there's a method to the madness. They actually put you through these officer roles to prepare you for area director. That is exactly why they want you to be president before you are an area director, because if you've been president, you know what you need to know to be an area director. So with that, I will pass it on to our illustrious Club Growth Director to make her announcement.
I just want to say, I know many of you heard on election day, that's not election day, the country, election day for Toastmasters.
Thank goodness.
That I have 20/20 vision. Now, how many of you in this room without these have 20/20 vision with your eyesight? No, not very
Nobody.
many. However, with our corrective lenses, we get pretty close, pretty good. I'm talking though today about the vision of your heart's work in Toastmasters. I'm not talking about 20/20 vision. Yeah, it's big. I want 20 clubs this year, 20 new clubs. But beyond that, I want 20 clubs, anybody, any club in this room, any club in our district who wants 20 members to have them. That's what I want. That's what I want. How many here are willing to say, I want that too? Woo! Now, I want to say it starts at the individual level. This year, I finally am getting my DTM. And I say finally, I've been a Toastmaster since 2020. So finally, in my case, it's not that many years, but it doesn't take that many years. How many in here have a level 2 or above on 2 pathways? Oh my gosh, did you know you can start your paperwork right now? You can get going on having your DTM. It is easy. It is easy. But the reason I'm highlighting it today is I have some opportunities to offer. One of the things that you get to do is be a club coach or be or do a speech craft, be the coordinator of a speech craft. Those are such great opportunities. Then you get to choose from 3. You could be a club mentor. You can do a youth leadership project. Who in here has heard of a youth leadership project? Oh, not enough of you. So this year, I hadn't heard of it last year either. But Scouts approached us to say, could you help with our merit badges of communication and leadership? And I said, well, yes, we can. Guess what that is? It's a youth leadership opportunity. 3 people got that part of their thing done just by showing up once a week and helping Scouts, which is so exciting. So don't hesitate to begin to look at that application and begin to say, oh, I want to be a club coach. Oh, I want to do this. Now I'm talking to people in the room who are already assigned. So what your job is, what my job is, what our job is, look around and make sure everyone that wants one has an opportunity. And that's what I'd like to say. Go 2020.
So again, my name is Anuja Kennan. I'm your program quality director for this year. And I just want to say a huge, huge thank you for stepping up and willing to be taking on the role as area director or division director this year. You have chosen to grow as leaders this year. And with that, you're also helping others grow in their communication and leadership skills, and which ultimately can change their lives. So you guys have a huge role in that part. And I also wanted to say that if any of you that Sarah kind of stole my thunder, I was going to ask you who's nervous, you know? Because when I became an area director, I was super nervous, very, very nervous. So just a little bit of background on myself. I have an education degree. I have my degrees in elementary education, and for the last 17 years, I've worked in education technology, and I primarily worked with school districts. So when I became an area director, I had my home club, which was fantastic. That was great. But I also had 2 corporate clubs, both at Boeing, this multinational corporation. And I am going to go in there and tell them what to do, right? So I was very, very nervous. But I want to tell you all, just don't be nervous, because at the end of the day, we're all Toastmasters and we have 2 goals that we want to do. We want to improve our communication skills and our leadership skills, and that's it. And so David, right? No, Dan. So, sorry, I need to get some new glasses. So you want to provide help, and the best thing to do, like when you get stuck this year, just kind of step back and say, okay, the best thing I can do is make sure that they have great meetings. And I've talked about this a little bit at some club officer trainings and the Starburst as well. But my focus this year is really to have great meetings, because those great meetings that's where the transformative power of Toastmasters occurs, right? That's where people grow. That's where people get excited. They stretch themselves. They have great evaluations. There's joy and humor in those. I know Greater Issaquah is an awesome example. We brought Stefano McGee, the 2nd vice president, to Greater Issaquah, and it was a model club. There was so much laughter, joy. They had new members coming in constant. Do you have like new members coming every week? Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. That's the kind of environment we want to provide. And so as an area director, you want to help them focus, have a great meeting, and then help them have another great meeting, and then another great meeting. So when you start stringing those great meetings along, that club is going to naturally thrive. So I just wanted to put that out there for you. And then also, as an area director and division director, you have the ability, you're going to be practicing all these team building skills, delegating skills, resolving conflict, providing effective feedback. What do you need?
Well, you have to send it.
Okay. And let's see here. But the skill of being able to influence a group of people that you had no authority over whatsoever is valuable. And that is going to transfer over into your work life, in your home life. So if you are working with cross-functional teams, you're going to be able to learn how to influence people that you don't have authority over, as well as if in your family life, let's say you're organizing an event, you're going to have more influence there. So this is going to be excellent practice for you this year to do that. And then just kind of stepping back, bringing back that Boeing experience, I absolutely loved those clubs. I connected it with them on LinkedIn, and I even convinced the president of that one Boeing club to be my successor as area director, and he did it for 2 years in a row. So it is a magical year as area director and division director. And then for today, what I want you guys to do is really share generously with one another. And as when we teach one another, that does a couple things. First of all, when you teach something to someone, it solidifies it better in your brain and you understand it better, right? And then also you are sharing things and you actually know more than you think you do, right? So when you're able to share some of that. So please, online and in person, share generously, and let's model a great meeting today. Thank you. All right, so we are going to switch gears a little bit. Marty is still working on her way here, and so we're actually going to have Ellen Liang do our next session on Toastmaster, on area visits and what that looks like. So we're going to bring up Ellen to the.
Oh, 1 second.
Okay.
So because we have a little change in the agenda, you all should have the agenda in front of you. We're gonna have Ellen go first, and then Marty will go when she gets here. But we're just doing some technical work to get Ellen's presentation. What happened to the screen?
There we go.
Okay.
Oh.
What?
Now the screen comes down.
Yeah, I just pushed the button.
Did I say I work in technology?
Okay, and I'll talk. Can you present into the Zoom room too? Share your screen. Ellen, that's A. Yeah, can you share your screen in the Zoom room too? Yeah.
While we're waiting.
Yeah.
But this is about dealing with people over whom you have no authority.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
All right, everyone give Ellen a round of applause.
Am I being seen? Should be okay? Is it okay?
Yeah.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Area 54 Director for Division E under Kuma. So over here, I have seen, some of oh, Marty is here. Haha, Marty, I'm taking your spots first. So we swap Marty. So for people online, I think they have already all renamed to be like which area they are. So I think we'll get used to who we are afterwards. I actually will do, if you have done your pre-work for this particular segment about club visits, we will use the one that the pre-work inside of the session workshop. I find that it is maybe more relevant. I gear towards, I redo the presentation from what Toastmaster I did. So this is what I put in. So the agenda today will be, I'm going to go through, like from the icebreaker to knowing your clubs and how is an area director interaction with clubs. And we will now then do a breakout session, and we'll be presenting as the team in, your answer, and then we will do, learning and wrap up. Okay, so for a start, I know everybody may be still eating, but we might need to be moving around. Just give you a heads up that you want to consider keeping your lunch warm. Okay, so for the icebreaker itself, may I have a show of hand, or how about standing up? If you have been an area director before, can you stand up? Woo! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And Peter. Okay, Peter has been the area, director of the year award too. Now, why am I actually? You can sit right now. Why am I asking that is because I want to have in total 1 team on Zoom, and then in person we will do 3 other teams. I would like to have the experienced area director to help me, to have individual teams. So if you don't mind, I think looking at the configurations here, maybe around this side is 1 team, and then this 2 itself will be 1 team by itself. So I call the team on the Zoom Team A. If you form it up over here, will be Team B and Team C and Team D. Let me take a look. I think there should be enough experienced people online on the Zoom. Okay, good. Then Team B over here, do you have someone who have been? I see Kumar, I see Sun, lots of experience. I didn't see what I did speak to. Now, Team B, Team C over here. Do we have area directors over here? We have 4. All right. And then Team D, we have Megan. Okay. So I think it is pretty all even. So all of you know where you are now in terms of your team. I'm sure that Anu, will be coming by if you actually need anything. So with that being done, with your team itself, okay, I say it's a different in-person team, so you know that when it is Marty time, she will break out and you will need to shoot a picture. So within your team itself, let's give yourself 5 minutes. 1, to introduce yourself, like what is your name, what's your club, what area are you in for the area director, and 1 fun fact. 5 minutes. Timer, we will be able to be 5 minutes. I'm gonna mute this.
Greetings. Could you please introduce yourself? Starting with Matt.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. My name is Matt Cable. I am with Kent Evening Toastmasters, and I am the area director for 44, which I believe consists of about 4 clubs. I'm still trying to learn which clubs I'm responsible for. So that's me, Peter, and welcome everybody.
Thank you. How about Brendan?
Hi, everyone. I am Brendan Smith. I am with the Toast of the Town Club in Queen Anne, Seattle. I am going to be the area director for area C32 this year. And a fun fact about me is I just got legally married yesterday.
Ooh, congratulations. How about Ash?
Hello, everybody. My name is Ash. I'm with the.
And I can't hear you.
What about now?
Ash, if you can get closer to the microphone, I think that's what the issue is. It's really, really faint.
Let's come back to Ash and let's get Chalet.
Thank you so much. And you said my name correctly. Thank you. So my name is Shalay, and I'm the Area Director 21. And I was a club member for the Linwood Toastmasters, and it was Roxanne that nominated me here. So hi, Roxanne. And I'm just thrilled to be here. I want to learn more and, just want to be able to know exactly what I'm supposed to fulfill. And I know that it's a 1 year long commitment, and I'm ready to commit to that. Nice to meet everyone.
Thank you, Ash. And I believe Janice, the last one.
Hi, my name's Janice Carmichael, and I belong to Barclay Toasters up in Bellingham. I believe I'm hopefully co-area directing with Ash, Area 12, but I may be doing Area 11 by myself. Haven't heard from the directorship what I'm doing. I have been an area director before. It's a lot of work. I won't fool anyone about it. Fun fact. Got to drive down to Seattle and back yesterday, which was a 5-hour journey round trip. It was quite the trip. Yeah, they need to do something about Everett freeways. That's it.
Oh, thank you, Janice. Ash, you have things worked out? Or do we need to? If not, okay. Ash will change computers. I myself was area director for 2 years. This last year, I was a division director. And this coming year, I am not going to do much of anything other than mentor a new club, a new experience for me. And we're getting close here. I'm seeing a yellow light. So I'm going to wrap up this and get ready to return to our main session. I welcome you all to being an area director. It's a little bit of work, but it's a whole lot of fun.
Nothing beats doing a little bit of training on your honeymoon, huh, Brendan?
Well, it's we're having the ceremony in Massachusetts next month because we're both from the East Coast, but it was going to be difficult with like timing to get the wedding licenses in Massachusetts, so we just did it at the courthouse in Washington, so we got that out of the way. But then we'll go to our honeymoon after that.
Okay, I hope you have a great time. Okay. Okay. All right, we have a lot of things to cover. I don't want to drag everything. All right, okay. So now we are going to dive into club visit. So for club visit itself, the first thing is that we need to know your club at the first very step. I was starting as a first year area director last year. I realized that when I actually get into my area, I don't know which clubs I was having and who are they and whatsoever. So what do you do if you do not know which your clubs are? All right, so Sarah, help me. So based on the district leaders handbook itself, these are the area director's tasks. So to say the list, I didn't do most of it. Yes. I came up from the area director training last year, remembering only two things. I'm supposed to do club visit and I'm supposed to do the area speech contest. So that's all I remember. So that's why, okay, I hope I have done a good job of club visit and I'm going to share with you my experience, which is different from Toastmaster International. So we will talk about the club visit and its report. With that, next page. Sarah, help me next page. Okay. Now, having all of you knowing that what area you are in, I actually kind of like, Sarah shared with me a spreadsheet and I actually put that in. If you actually see this, what happened is, okay, we have all the division director field. That's one good thing. Okay, so look at that. It is like we have Bob for division A. We have Betty is on here. Don't see Betty for division vacation. Yeah. Division C, Vera is on the Zoom, and division D is Daniel. Daniel's on vacation. It's July, isn't it? So division E and division F. Over here, Megan, right? Perfect. Now come down to area director level. I don't know whether you observe how it is. We have in total, if I'm not wrong, correct me, I think 26 areas. We have on my list itself, 13 areas covered. But we have another like 12 to 13 about that we're still waiting for an area director role to be filled. Well, it is the situation right now. We will make best of. Okay. That's
Still goes out. We can still appoint area directors through the end of September. They'll still get credit like they were on day one. So if you know somebody who's in these areas or not, who might want to take one, let us know.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll have another training like this.
Yeah.
And use the credit you made towards your DPM.
I didn't know about what I'm just credit. When I first become area director, it's like, what does that mean? All right. Now, having said that, this sheet itself doesn't tell you what clubs is under that. So, what does that mean to you? Actually, it is there. Maybe we move on to the next one. Okay. I want to say, first point out to the second point over here. Chat with your division director. If you do not know, they will have told you, right? No. Then I go back to my first point. If you are an area director on the Toastmaster website, you should have district central. From there itself, I will go to review how do you actually download and then look at your clubs and who are the club officers. Having said that itself, I, just saying that this particular training itself, I actually have a lot of help and a lot of tips everywhere. I keep learning things new. The two tips over here is, I realized that I just learned it too. Tips number one given by Marty to me is get help with an assistant director. For my dear JJ over here. She's willing to be my assistant director. She just joined Toastmaster not too long, but she's really willing to do that. I'm so excited, right? And why is it so? Because in a year, you need to visit the club minimally one time in the first half, one time in the second half. And then when the assistant area directors is, already know what's going on, we can actually tag team to actually look at the club and visit them more so that you don't need to do all by yourself. Thank you, Marty, for the tips. Tip number two is when I was reading a resource that Anu have sent across, and I realized that I totally didn't do it. Is that club visit doesn't mean that you just join the club for seeing how they do and that's just it. The right thing to do is you actually have another session of the time after the meeting to actually discuss with the club officer what do you see or observe. No, having said that itself, it might not be so easy when you first know. That is from my experience. Just a show of hand and see whether you wake up to. How many of you are volunteers? Anybody online? If if you didn't raise your hand, you are falling asleep. You are not paying attention. All of us are volunteer, including club officers. So is that the first job? No. So that is not even the motivation to try to do anything more, right? So that's why I find that there is a misaligned to what the club officers want themselves, what Toastmaster want, or even as a district. So I put it on my point of view to say, yeah, let's talk about more before getting to the Toastmaster way of trying to say what is considered as good club. Okay. So I will go through deeper about the area report, but this is the there is this distinguished club program DCP that have a dashboard. So they call it the performance dashboard. If you are at work and you have a performance dashboard, it means that it is a report card. Well, it is a report card, but I actually don't really think that it is that critical as a first step to be really looking at the dashboard, but I'm still going to go through it. For this distinguished club itself, this dashboard, there are 10 goals. If you finish 5 goals in a year, you are a distinguished club. If you finish 7 goals, you are the select distinguished club. If you are 9 goals into it, you are president distinguished. With that being said, what are the 10 goals? Okay, these are the 10. All right. And thanks to Anu, Anu realized that the acronym that is easy to remember. Although it is actually shuffled around in terms of the order. TEAM. Oh, I can actually remember too. T for training, E for education, A for administration, and M for membership. I hope it's not the other way around, MEAT, the meat. Now, out of all this goal, okay, look at that. 6 of the goals itself is for education. So if your VPE is not tracking people moving on the pathway, you can almost forget about it. You won't get to it because you are going to miss 6 goals altogether. Then, the rest, the training, then the administration and the membership. How do you actually look at this? This 6 goals itself is all education related. First is 4 level 1 award, means that 4 of the member itself have passed the level 1. And then level 2, you need 2. And if you have finished, you have 2 members, then do you have another 2 more, means total 4 more. And then 2 level 3, and then do you have any level 4, level 5 DTM award? And then if you have, do you have 1 more? So this is the educational goal. This slide itself is about membership. Do you have 4 new members? If you have 4 new members, do you have another 4 more? Means that you have 8 new members. Of course, it's paid. Then the number 9 itself is the training goals. Do 4 of your officers, club officers have been trained, and this have to be one time first half of the year, and then the second time the second half of the year. If you know there are actually 7 roles of club officers, so it's just only required 4. So if someone who couldn't make it for the meeting, we're not going to ding them. But if you don't have 4, means that you don't have the majority of the officer trained, then it is not counted. Then the last one is administration goal. Do you have the renewal in time? The membership renewal, and do you have the officer list in time? So that is more on the administration, the secretary, or whatever the club is going to. So this is called the distinguished club performance report. And I also thank Anu for this. I have never actually looked at that there are different tabs over here. My last year when I was area director, I have been always going on this area level. Then I realized that when Anu showing me, then actually you can click onto this club performance level, and this itself is the club. And then at one glance itself, you can actually see your club itself. What are the educational goals? What are the membership? What are the training? What are this of the administration? And then, just if you actually look at some of this Linden Toastmaster Club, I heard someone was from Linden, it's online. And this is a very advanced club. You look at how many goals that they have achieved, right? And then the membership base is also very high. So this is one of the club that is very strong. You just one look at it, you will know. But is it uncommon that having the education goal to be 0? In my experience, it is very common. It is very common. I think, if you don't mind, Sarah, I'm going to advance to the next stage. Yeah. So I know gracefully let me try, incorporating this. I thought it was such cool because I never know about this last year. So when your educational goal itself is 0, what it means is that you should actually consider the pathway office hour. Why I am seeing clubs that is constantly meeting and 0 goals for the education is a lot of times. One, they have been in the old Toastmaster manual. They're very experienced. And then I love my man. All right. With that, Marty, you're going to be laughing, right? Because it's so true. I used to go through the 10 speeches on paper. They don't like to go into public. 2, I also saw club itself that they like to do fun speeches. They don't bug. I just want to say what I want to do. I'm preparing for my wedding for my family. I want to do this. Hopefully, okay. I find that it is, as long as we are improving everybody communication and leadership, I think it is okay. However, they are missing a big part of the pathway tools that actually you can have this little bit of pieces of communication skill to improve on. So it's just gently nudge them to win it, but if they don't want it, you cannot force them. That's from my experience. Now that is one consideration. And I thought it was a wonderful idea. If you see that the membership is not increasing, this is a very fantastic club because you see over here it is have a lot of goals being met. However, if the membership is not increasing, it means that they are doing existing club members that might not be reaching out. So one of the suggestions itself is that this rules about speechcraft that the club can run, invite people to come and to increase the membership. I thought it was clever. But of course, it all comes down to like the publicity, the BPPR, open house. Right? Now then, if they do not like to join training, there's one of the questions like, how do you encourage them to do it? Yes. So I find it there's a lot of value. I love to meet people, but not everybody are like that. Sometimes they like, oops, today I need to spend the time in this beautiful July because I want to do biking instead of coming to an aircon room. Well, it happens. So district have done a wonderful job, like Sarah and Anoop. There are variations from different time zones, different day. If you cannot make it on Saturday, you have the Wednesday, you got the noon time, you got the evening time, all sorts. Yeah. And I also find that there are clubs that is nowadays with online. The club officer actually is not in state. I have seen so many of the Microsoft club, they from Arizona, Indiana, whatever, London. They cannot actually come even as an evening Zoom training because it's too late for them. I really appreciate the Wednesday lunch hour that is open to them. And also with Sarah's help, I actually get some, in-person training information to some of the club members that they can actually even attend in Arizona. Because we can actually search by the district number, we can actually get them the information and they can actually approach the Toastmaster over there. Yes, it might not be the same, but at least there's something. They can connect with people in person, which is wonderful. Yeah.
Regarding that training, so as you were mentioning that you have some clubs that are advanced and know everything, and so they may not attend training, but I've done that. Well, that is a great club to reach out to have them participate as a trainer. They're doing a lot of great things. Share it with the other clubs. So then that way they're attending clubs. They can get that kind of turn it around.
Yeah. Maybe I pause here for a while. Any question at this stage? Anyone? Please help me check whether there's any question online. No question? Anybody? No? Okay.
One other thing here, this is another thing. looking at the dashboard, you can start piecing together a little bit about the culture of that club. So I highly recommend you taking some time and really looking at the dashboard. Because they're bringing back my education background. They're like students, right? They're all different. Because some clubs they're doing great with pathways, but again, they could be struggling with membership. Other clubs are doing great with membership and they're doing a lot of fun things, but are we truly progressing them through the pathways and getting them to reach their goals, right? So every club is a little different and their needs are different. So looking at the dashboard kind of gives you a better insight before you actually go to that club.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that. Dashboard is really wonderful. And on the left side, there is also reports that you can download, everyday report, which is more informative.
Mhm.
Are we doing more pathway training for office hours this year?
Yes, we're, Carol Lazon is gonna continue on as the Pathways office, chair, and she'll do office hours, and then she's already sent me some dates, and we're actually gonna start, like next month, so, and we'll put that in the starter, so that you guys can plan.
And pathway office hours is for asking questions. So you have to try and have problems before you have something.
Asking questions.
Right. Okay. So with that, we are going into this portion about my feeling about area directors' interaction with clubs. Oh boy. Yeah. Okay. Next one. Yeah. Oh, okay. One page before. Why do we do club visits? So just to say, we are the link between the clubs to the district. About training, announcement, any events, any incentive program, etc. Like last year, I knew have a traveling Toastmaster program. Not a lot of people know. Area directors know, but I'm traveling around, they don't. Right? And then there's training coming up and events and whatever, the speech contest and things like that. Yeah, so you need to be the information to the club, and you are the resource for the club which have questions. For example, this particular question about like, oh, I'm in Arizona and the club president tell me where can I have the training? You know, like I do not know the answer. I come back to someone who have the answer, right? You know, Sarah. So it was actually wonderful. This we have Roseanne, Anu, and Sarah. They are really wonderful. But having said that, in joining the club, also you offer yourself as a role model to the club. I have one club in corporate Microsoft club. They are super busy, no preparation. Every time it's just only table topic. They don't even have a table topic, but they want to become for table topic. So I honestly, I just go there to be like, oh, okay, I can do your table topic. I teach them like, if you need to be on point about table topic, if you doesn't have anything, you don't have ChatGPT in your hand, what you need to do is do the what, when, how, and based on theme, like all this I, W, and H, and then just go around the theme of heat wave. Like, what do you do in heat wave? When there's heat wave, like who, right? Those sort of situations. So get them to keep thinking about, they can do better as a role model for them. You can also do a prepared speech. Like last 2 days itself, I went for another club that, nobody liked to do prepared speech. So I give a speech about education speech. I took the idea from Suzanne. Suzanne said, if there's no prepared speech, someone needs to do an educational speech. What does it mean? Like I do about like the VPE. What happened is last year, the club itself, the VPE couldn't commit anymore after the half a year. I say, okay, I can take it. So I am not officially VPE, but I took on the role to help them. And what happened is this year I have to transition my role to the next real VPE itself. And she doesn't have time for me. I keep asking her for time, she doesn't, but she can't put me in. So what do? I present about over there. I say, you hear me, everybody heard it, so you better do a job, right? Okay, so that is called educational goal. So I thank Suzanne for really always suggesting things like that for me. I really love that. So being a role model, and in terms of the club reports, minimally you need to visit them one time, but Toastmaster International only require you one report per half a year. Okay, you need to submit a report I also realized that I like to visit the club more than one time, but they don't allow you to submit the second report. If they have improved along the way, too bad. But you just need to have one report for them. So sometimes I actually like after I visit, I created the report and I was like, maybe I should submit later on. Because I can just about that.
Information we will visit at least couple of times. Before submitting the report. That way, you know the progress from where the first time met and then to some progress. If it's better to submit around like September, October, November time.
Yeah.
That way they would have made some progress. Now we will not have much to recommend. That's it.
Yeah, Suzanne has that.
That's, probably a good idea for visit before the end of August, because they're not getting their officers training. Maybe you can encourage them to attend. Maybe we have a August 31st training or something.
Yeah.
Very late training, the last 2 weeks.
That's true.
Almost too late, and then they realize they missed.
Yeah. True. Very true.
So I would suggest sometime on it, but that doesn't have to be report time. Just observe.
Very true. Very true. A lot of good tips. Yeah, visit them early in the year. All right. With that being said, we can move on to the next one. Okay. So I make up this one because that's what I do. Toastmaster will tell you totally different. But why I say that is because the first visit that I feel that I am approaching a club itself. Now I have done it so many times, and I kind of like have a feel of what to do, but you are still be nice, right? You don't walk into a house and call other people's baby ugly. Right? So yeah, how smart, right? It's like, so this is not supposed to be a report card. You need to be supporting, you need to show them that you appreciate them stepping up as the role, right? So to me, the first round, that's what I call the initial round itself, is to feel the ground. How's the club doing? Who are they? And how do they meet? How welcome are you? And then when you actually go towards like ongoing, they know you already, they're ready to move on, then you can actually continue to, add value, telling them the event. And of course, like line them up in terms of the calendar, right? As an area director, you need to prepare area speech contest by March. So they will need to do the club contest by January and February, right? And then before that, they need to be like, have the people going on to level 2, because before you can compete in the contest, you need to finish level 2. So you need a lot of things beforehand, right? So once you get over them, then you can start like, bits and pieces, like, hey, how many people have finished level 2? Maybe you can consider your club contest, etc. Right? Then moving on to the final part, which Toastmaster consider as success club success plan, moment of truth and all that. So I put out over there the distinguished club program, the dashboard. And now I actually this year, just beginning of July, so I do 3 clubs new officer induction. I have never done it last year totally. And this year I actually read the script and I was like, hey, this is such a good script. Oh, wonderful. And I didn't realize that there's a president pin that you can actually pass on to from immediate past president to the coming president and things like that. I didn't know that until you did the topic. And asked me how to say,
We just are announcing an incentive that if you get a Super 7, you can get $72 or a full pin set meal to your club president.
Whoa.
So you choose.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So tell your club, they're gonna love that.
Yeah.
And then just a quick raise your hand, how many of you in your club have done an induction ceremony?
Wow.
Bringing back to my experience with Bowen, that was one of the first things I did with them, and it was really cool for them, and it brings that officer group together. And you don't know these people's lives, if they might not get that recognition at work, And this little ceremony, it's something, it's nice. It fills them up and then it feels like they're getting recognized that they may not be getting that help.
Yeah, that's.
It's reminding you why you're here. Yes.
Yeah.
Why are you?
Yeah, the script was really good. Like, you know, you read the description, like, wow, very positive description, and then ask them like, oh, this VPE, can you stand up? Can you hold this virtual gavel? And then like, now, will you perform this duty to the best of your ability? And then the person will say, yes, I will. Yeah. And then you get the whole club to stand together and say, hey, you're going to stand by the club this year. I was like, whoa, that's not quite cool. And it works. And then the president, oh, so good. I really saw that for 3 clubs. Fantastic. So that is what my feel about the initial two. Yeah.
Okay, I think I would like give a big kudos to you. I would add one small thing. I would add one more thing to be having an area council. So meeting in at least once in 3 months, at least that.
Say what that is. Tell everybody.
So an area council meeting is all the club officers from each of the clubs. You can bring them to a meeting and they can share information among themselves. So you are the enabler for having that area council. I've done that when I was not last year, last year. It was before COVID. It was awesome. And they share ideas and they get to know about other clubs, then that motivates them to go and do some more. It's amazing to have that at least once in 3 months. You can initiate that discussions like when you're meeting whether they're open, and you can create a doodle group and see what would be a best time for them to meet. And then you know,
They can also do combined events that result in that because now they've cross-pollinated.
exactly.
And I noticed in District 73, it spurred some competition that's still going on. It's even bigger competition now. It's a nice way to get these masters to have
Also, you can have, when you're having a club contest, you can have other club members or officers come and do the judge.
Yeah, if you already know who your area council is, when you're making your area contest, you immediately can pick one of each, officer. Because that you either need 5 judges or you need 1 from each of your clubs. So that makes it super easy once you already have these relationships built.
Yeah. All right. Oh, wonderful. I'm taking note down the area council. Woo! Yeah. See, the person who learned most is the one who actually knew. All right. So the next one itself, I'm just dive a little bit down about like the initial meeting. I personally feel that, it took me about a month to try to figure out how to do so, look at the club. Now, okay, so we can actually go down to like the who, where, when. Who are these officers? What are the name? What are the respective roles? I cannot remember. Honestly speaking, every single time I have to search for it, and then after that I say before I go in, try to remember, and then come to them, or have a secret, sheets behind me. Now that whether they are in person or online, if that is possible to actually meet them in person, it's fantastic. First time to make sure you be there, and of course be there early, 15 minutes early, right? And if it is virtual, check whether it's a team, whether it's Zoom, whether you need your Zoom to be updated before you go. Don't go last minute or late, things like that. Then, how often do they meet? Which day? Some of them weekly, some of them once every 2 weeks. Some of them once every month. And then, are they corporate club? Corporate club itself, I have heard that it actually can be challenging too. Honestly speaking, corporate club people are really, really busy. So sometimes corporate club are the ones that didn't prepare most of the things, I don't know, but you might have a different feeling about it. And then when do they feel comfortable for you? I have clubs with loves me to visit every week. Come, Ellen, you come. Some club itself is like, wait, when you come itself, you have to dress proper, you have to have more attendance. It's really seriously, it really does happen. So, respect them. And of course, if you want a meeting with them, that you need to, like, after the meeting, you need to schedule another half an hour, you need to let them know. So that they are not like, especially corporate club, they are jumping meeting to meeting, and then immediately after the Toastmaster, you see. So if you need them, tell them beforehand that you're going to have 30 minutes with them after. Then, are they advanced club or specialty club? This is the question that Marty asked me to go and put it in. Honestly, I do not know much about advanced club, except that I always see them around, and then they are the people who are like, members of multiple clubs, and normally they meet once a month kind of thing. So, Marty, do you, like, if you know that they are advanced club, what do you do?
I think the key with the dance club is to be in touch with the people, particularly how to you're going to be connected to the president as an area director. But the reason that I say that is that many advanced clubs have numbers that we're trying to split the credit that they get through pathways progress. So being connected to the BDD to help them, if you can see, like, when you go to an advanced club, you see zeros across the board in their educational achievement, it's not because they're not giving speeches, because no one's giving pathways credit to that club. And so you have the ability to bring some attention, some like, just by saying simply, I noticed when I was looking at the DCP that there are a lot of zeros here, and after attending meetings, listening to all of the awesome speeches, I know this can't be right. It opens the door for you. Also have an opportunity for that advanced club, because if you have sister clubs or clubs that are leaders for them, to partner with those sister clubs or leaders to make sure that they're getting that information.
Oh, wow.
It's really important. And specialty, I don't know that we have a specialty club here, honestly. I know that what a specialty club is like, they're humor focused, or they're all entrepreneurs, or maybe, pardon me? Yes, something like that. I don't know if we have any of those in this review. This is the Golden Gavel.
Golden Gavel, yes.
Correct.
That's I-10. Yeah.
And then what are the youth clubs?
That's actually our like sister program, so Gavel Club is
Gavel
not
Club is
really
not part of it.
related to Toastmasters, but we're just like
Helping.
a grade line.
Yeah, Gavel Club is don't come. Yeah.
Well, they're their own thing, they have their own contests, their own support system and volunteers, and even some of our volunteers, like Karen Axelrad, she does chief judge for their gavel contest, because these kids are unbelievably talented. So if you are interested in seeing or being a judge or helping out, there are volunteers.
Their roles are pretty low. And we have about 3 or 4 in our area.
Okay. So with that, that is about just basic understanding. So maybe we move on.
Okay.
All right. So last year, the problem I have is I do not know how to even contact the club, and only take some time before one of our division directors and one of the experienced area directors say, hey, there's a report you can download. Never know about it. So go to your login, go to District Central, go to this little report over there, and then next page. Yeah, next page. This just screenshot. So
It's very complicated.
so then this after when you actually click the report itself, you can select between the area club officer report or the area membership report. Club, you will see the officer will be all the 7 of them, or your 5 clubs itself under that, and who is holding the 7 roles itself. So this is an example. If it's going to roll and come up as a .csv file, I always like to make it into an Excel so that I can figure out the plot. Yeah.
And just be aware that this is confidential information, so it's not to go out to everyone in any club. It's for you to serve in your role as area director or division director.
Money.
I just want to add to that, everything that you do, you need to. I didn't realize at the beginning of my area directorship that when I sent out a communication to a club that it was okay, it wasn't okay without getting the
permission of the other presidents to share other presidents' guides. They all said yes, so thankfully I was there, it wasn't a lawsuit, but you want to make sure you create a distribution. Distribution list, if they're okay with it, there's value, because then you want to send one, you know, like when you get a note from the district that says, if you remind people to go to club officer training, please, you send out one email that goes to every president, and then the president has to give that to their. The other good thing here is the DCC. Yeah. And I do that a lot.
Yeah.
And many of you economics. You'll know if you don't see yourself on the two list. No, there's a reason. There's something I'm trying to share with you and make you aware of. And you may do that in your interactions.
And I just ask you to be respectful. I have found it necessary to not be very public at times in my life. And have had a member in the club who experienced that same thing, in fact, used a false name to be a member. And when I expressed my need for that, there was a member of a club who downplayed that. And when someone's life depends on staying invisible, it's extremely important to respect that. You can tell I have some feelings about that.
Come on, yeah.
One last thing. So this spreadsheet is a lot of having data privacy because I'm doing a data privacy protection in my company. I know what it is, and there are a lot of new laws coming in as part of the artificial intelligence, where you need to have only the information that you need to have for your work. And after that, within the time period of 72 hours, you need to delete it. So even if you download this, I would encourage you to remove all the things that you don't need and save a copy. I only need just the phone number and email. There are also like there's a column which says don't share, don't opt out. All those information are there. Their address is this. I don't know why those persons, maybe in those days like when they had, I think they haven't changed this. At that time they need to send a letter, a letter. So in those scenarios, I don't know why they have everybody's address is this.
And all of your information.
Exactly. So I would encourage, and when you join, all the information is. So when you download, delete all the columns that you don't need, and have only the name, club, and all those information, and have that. And roll for it. Yeah. I think there's nothing going on. One which is you lost something. There's a Colorado law new came in. It's even more stringent. So you don't want to be in the.
Like on the flip side, if you know your address is wrong, please go in there. So you can be a good example, because I like to send thank you cards, so I hate to get a return to sender.
Is that you have something? Is that?
I was gonna ask, this has not been updated yet, this semester.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, that was
No.
generated July.
This is, in terms of the club officers, it is updated. What is new? Yeah, as of July. Not the alignment, the new alignment. So like, for example, last year I have a mix of Microsoft Club with non-Microsoft Club in my area. I'm still seeing the Microsoft Club in here because it is not fixed yet. It takes until, I think, July 30th to 31st. And then August 1st, by right, you should have all.
Just be aware that due diligence information.
Yeah.
May not be accurate.
Yeah, just not your club. So I have been like reaching out to Kuma. Hey, where's this club? Where's that club? Division director see all your areas. So when they shopper around within your division, right? So that's.
At this point, I might be outdated. I did this for years, that was their director. I just went to their website. I filled out the contact sheet, and whoever it was that responded from the club, I said, who's your president? Who's your VP? Sometimes information on TI is accurate, but frequently it's not, because people's circumstances change. The club will know who their representatives are.
Yeah, I actually have that. Sarah maybe actually. So you can also try to follow the guest way of trying to find a club and see how the thing goes. So what does it mean? Go to toastmaster.org and then click on find a club or Google the club name. Now it's said exactly, the yellow highlight is exactly what Marty said. If the club information is outdated, you will not get any reply upon. And then that's why, club doesn't have people with it because it was outdated. People cannot find that, right? Yeah. And again, if the information is outdated, you as an area director, you have the responsibility to learn that from. I just yesterday was doing something, the area visit report, and I try and it actually doesn't work. So I have to send back to the yeah. All right. So this is how, I envision some guests will go to the Toastmaster website, find a club on the very top, and then you will go to this page itself, you put in your postal code and how far is it away. You can specify your, option. Is it a restricted club? Which day do they meet? And then you will have the list. You click on the club. This is one of my favorite clubs. Without me doing a lot, they already so you click on that, you go to still a Toastmaster website and bring down to say, roughly about this club itself. This is the phone number, what is the club website, and then this is the contact club. If you click on contact club, there will be a form, and then you fill it in, then automatically it's supposed to reach somebody, but it might go into a black hole. What happens? Yeah. And then I want to realize, call this number too, and then see whether, people actually pick up or, leave a voicemail, anybody calls back. And then, click on this, it go into their individual club website. And this is a lot of times retail stores or whatever club that they have. And then this information, the club normally will maintain the meeting information on top. Well, it doesn't always, even this public speaking Northwest this month itself, I was so sure that I can actually reach them on the day that I'm trying to meet them. I was in a Zoom for half an hour and realized that they have changed the Zoom link. No, I have to contact them in the morning. Nobody reply, and I tried to use the last year's Zoom link. So, again, send it to them. Something needs to be fixed, right? So with that, okay. Now I think I will just go a little bit more, and then we will do the breakup. So again, I would say be nice at the beginning when you go there, add value. What type of add value that I foresee is like providing them about training material. And a lot of people, especially the club new roles itself, they do not know d2tm.org/event page where we actually put in all our trainings or our events. They do not know. So make sure that they know. And then if you know exactly like this particular training, you want someone to come and someone to be aware of, click into that, give them the page so they save them one click further, right? And then of course encourage all the club officers who attend in-person training meeting or Zoom training. Well, make them aware that it is a goal for the training to complete. If you don't say that as a goal, they won't come. And then ask whether they have Starburst District 2 newsletter. And I also just found out not too long ago that not everybody get it, right? So why? And then the president was like, what are you talking about? Which, this is how you subscribe. I learned that you need to opt in to receive the newsletter. And I have been always using the wrong way. Then I thank Sarah to point it out. d2tm.org, scroll all the way to the bottom, put in your email address, click that you're not a robot, submit, and then there you got signed up. You know what I did? I received the newsletter report, and then I actually do that email itself. I find a lot of important information, right? I click on the read this email as web page, and then I actually send them, and then I say, hey, click on the job email link on top. It's like, oh, what I've been doing. But thank you, Sarah, for letting me know. Okay, so this is about Starburst newsletter. Then now we go on to the ongoing interaction. Next page. So what is a successful club visit? How do you define that? What type of outcome you want? Okay, and in terms of the objective itself, like how does a successful club meeting look like? How do you recognize what type of outcome you get? And how do you develop strategy to hold productive and successful club? So with that being said, I just want to go down like because ultimately you need to submit the report. Where is the report? District Central Area Club Visit, the Club Visit report. And then, yeah, some of the screenshot again, you will go in and you see the club being listed. They will ask you which day do you visit. And then after that, there is a bunch of things. I tried to time myself as an experienced person to see this club yesterday. What happened? Fortunately. So some of, yes,
When do you start? When do you start your?
when do you start your report? The Rose question is a trick question. No, I think, when you actually schedule a meeting, you already can actually specify the date that you are going to.
Why would you do that?
Well, you can send them, yeah, Linda. Yeah.
So that you can read through the requirements and make sure you're prepared.
I'm actually thinking of when you actually go in here and create a new report and say, I'm gonna visit on this day, it sends an email to the officer. And it says, hey, you're gonna have a club visit on this day. It's so helpful as an officer. And then your visit report's already started, so your division director is not gonna hound you because they know you're gonna visit them on this day in the future.
That's why it's the actual flavorability. Yes, what you don't want is for that officer to say, hey, we don't need on this day, why are you telling me?
Well, okay. I didn't know, honestly. I didn't know that after I feel where does the information go. I just learned it last week.
You can set the date in this page, you change it on the day of visit.
No,
Can put down in your future date next week.
Whatever day you want it, we'll take it, but if you use today's date, just because you're trying to get pictures for your deck, you're gonna get a message with them, send to someone saying, hey, this has been scheduled.
Yes.
And they're gonna take some notes on that.
Well, so some of the screenshot itself, it go through a few steps, you will see some question itself, how many stars itself, you need to put some suggestions and, while I'm going through, what is your meeting observation and things like that, then if you wanted to know if, like Linda say, what are the questions that they ask you, what do you need to observe, there is a physical, PDF file, not physical file. Then you can actually download. This is the form 1471 itself. It's a PDF file. You can actually print it out. I read some best practice. You can actually send it to the club president to say, hey, these are the things that we would like to report on. So yeah, maybe you might want to take a look, and then when we meet the time, we can. Right? So the PDF file. All right. With that being said, I would like to start the breakout discussion, and then just let me just go through it, and then we will take a break, and then you can come back for discussion when we say what time is it. So the next page about the breakout activity. Yeah. All right. So this is about the club visit account. So I am going to use the pre-work that you actually. So if you have done your pre-work, it is just sharing your answer. So the team A itself will be the Zoom, question 1 and 2. Team B itself will be question 3 and 4. B. Team C itself will be question 5 and 6. And team D itself is 7 and 8 questions. All right, and then the next one. Okay. 1 Zoom team, 3 in-person teams. Each team, please assign a timer so that you know how much discussion you are doing. You have 15 minutes in total. And then use the guiding question to discuss and define what is a successful club visit look like. And then choose a spokesperson that you are going to present. You have 2 to 3 minutes for the presentation. All right. So with that, I think it is good to have a break as well as, how about you want only the break? Okay. Okay, so with 15 minutes now is 25.
Let's do 10 minutes. You only have 15 minutes left.
Oh, okay. 10 minutes and then the sharing. Okay. All right. 10 minutes. Okay, so get ready. 10 minutes start now. That was it, 3 months.
I'm gonna mute this. I think you're just gonna have to edit this, and go out of the full, go into view. And change that so that you can see different people. Maybe side by side. Just something.
I'll do what I can here.
So are we going to be in a breakout room, the people online, or how are we going to discuss?
It's not going to be a breakout room, but we are by ourselves online. Hopefully, I don't get too much chatter in my microphone. We have the first 2 questions. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about regarding our first 2 questions? Just go ahead and speak up and unmute.
So
Nobody
Peter,
wants.
I
Go
I
ahead,
have a
Shalay.
question. So
Yes.
so these are the questions that we are pretty, is this the part where we're sitting down with the president of the club? Or,
Well, it's whatever your ideas are. I don't want to throw too much into it. I'd rather you guys come up with what you think. And this is Toastmasters. There usually aren't any wrong answers. And there's no right answers either. There are things that work for different circumstances.
So personally, for me, it's 2 parts. You go attend the club meeting and you see or observe everything. So you make notes of it. Then you can follow up with the club officers that, hey, this is what I observed, or is there something else you folks do? Was it like one-off that you were not able to fill the roles and stuff? Because we also need to like talk to the officers also, just in case, but it's a 2-step thing. One, you go attend the whole meeting and like observe. There are like most of the questions you don't even have to ask them. It'll be mostly from your observation. Was the presentation room set up properly? Were the roles assigned properly? And there were certain things that you may not know. If your club has a succession plan or members engagement high, for which we may not have direct answers, for which you can like reach out to the officers in the club and ask them, hey, do you have this?
Do you have any ideas, Brendan? I can't hear you. There you go.
I think a successful club visit is communicating well with whoever the club officers are. And I think reaching out ahead of time, making sure that they know you're coming, and bringing with you that PDF that they were going through earlier, making your notes, and then just being really receptive to what they have to say. I think every club's different, and I think how you present suggestions, keeping it really simple action items that have, worked well from your experience or you've heard work well with other clubs. Presenting it that way would make, I think, the club officers more receptive to adopting and ultimately improving their clubs.
Sounds good. Let's see if we can hear from Ash. If you've got do you have your microphone issue worked out?
Is it better now?
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just bought the other computer last year. I'm not sure why the mic was being
Yeah.
affected. I'm trying to get caught up a little bit here. Which questions are we talking about? Is it the pre?
There's the first question, and then we have the second question on the homework.
Okay, so the
The
what
first
challenge?
question had to do with the dashboard. The second is membership orientation.
So what challenges that clubs experience? Is that one it, or?
Well, the first question was, what can you learn from the dashboard? The second was a question about membership orientation,
Okay,
which is one of the sections of the area report. So what might you observe when you go to a meeting?
well, I think one of the ways you can, for the first question, just say, like, if a club isn't hitting their points, if they're,
What would you look for during a club visit to,
oh,
in regards to club membership orientation?
I would just look for,
5
just
minutes?
like,
Yeah,
how
we have
well,
5 minutes. Go ahead.
I would just look for how well organized they are. Are they starting on time, ending on time? Are they engaging all the members? Because I think one of the biggest things is only the older members speak, and some of the new members don't get a chance. That can definitely be a pitfall. So those are things that I'd watch out for, just making sure that the club is cohesive.
Well, that's a wonderful idea. Most of my clubs make a point of involving the young members, especially if they don't have speaking roles, make sure they get into table topics so that they get a chance to speak every meeting.
Yes.
I'm trying to flip through here. Matt, what do you think?
So one of the things that I would do is just be very aware of what's going on with their dashboard before I attend the meeting. But what I would really like to see is pretty much what Ash said. Just make sure that everybody's being able to have the opportunity to speak, regardless what roles they're having. Even if they're brand new, this is their first meeting. At our meetings, we at the end and the beginning of the meeting, we always ask them what brought them there. And then, of course, what they thought of the meeting afterwards, which I'm sure all clubs do that. But it just ensures that they get the opportunity to speak. And then the other thing that we do is we make sure that VPE and VPM and the president speak with those guests at the end of the meeting, just to make sure that they're getting the information that they need in order to make a decision if they want to come back or if they needed more information and that type of stuff. So that's what I would be looking for, is how they're treating their guests.
Well, excellent. And I believe we haven't heard from Janice. Are you still with us? Or you step away? 2-minute warning, she says. One of the things we're supposed to do in the breakout room is identify a spokesperson. Which one of you would like to present answers to the first 2 questions, question 1 and question 2, to the rest of our group when we come back from this little breakout activity? Anybody feel the urge for stage time here?
I can do it if nobody else wants to.
Okay, excellent. So when we come back, they'll go through each of the groups, and we get a couple minutes, very quick, to just identify for each question 1 or 2 key ideas.
What did we say for the first question really quick?
The first question is, what can you learn from the dashboard before you go to a club meeting? And the second one is, what aspects of membership orientation can you observe when you're at the meeting? And these are all things that will be in the step-by-step area director report for a club visit. And I'm coming up on 10 minutes here. I don't know how close we are.
You just have a minute left.
Okay. I think we're ready to go. Are we timed? I don't know. Ask the noob.
Yeah, I think we are time.
Yeah, we can come back soon. All right, we're gonna come back to the regular meeting.
They will be presenting.
They'll present, yes. I'm gonna mute myself and send.
The 2 questions will be, and then I will let Team B to speak about it. Who is from Team B
Can
representing?
you hear us on the Zoom? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Linda.
Well, on the Zoom.
On the camera.
Yeah, stand in front of the camera.
Okay. All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. The question, how could you identify an issue with club officers not recognizing the value of training? How can you help emphasize the value of attending training? The first thing is make sure that you're in touch with the club and that you are listening when you attend those club meetings. But also you can look at the club dashboard, see if they have educational, the training completed, but be aware that's not always updated immediately. And so you don't want to embarrass yourself or look bad in front of the club and by coming in and saying, well, you haven't done it, when they have. Just ask them. Just say, I noticed that it's not on the dashboard. Could you update me on that? If you mention upcoming club trainings and they give you a blank stare, then you pretty much know they don't know. Then you have an opportunity to say something. If you know of a club officer training that has a specific focus coming up, you can just let them know. If they, especially if they are an experienced club where the officers have been there for years, give them something, a nugget to look forward to that's different and a little bit outside just the role training. We've had pathways training, we've had membership building. There have been a lot of specialty programs in the last couple of years. Let them know that. If they know it all already, ask them to be a trainer, as was mentioned before. Did I miss anything?
Okay.
Yeah, that's next. Do I have time? Okay, how can clubs track progress on their action plans in the club success plan? Ask them if they have a club success plan, let them know what it is. If they don't, ask them for a copy so that you're able to be a part of instead of just being on the outside. Ask them if they're having those conversations with the membership, that they are checking in with their members to find out where they're at in their progress,
if they need any help, those kinds of things. Possibly have an award ceremony once a month or once every quarter to acknowledge the educational achievements in your clubs. Toastmasters does have pins for different level completions, if I recall correctly. Get those. Make it a time of recognition. People know that you care. There's also, in the past, I don't know if it's currently available, but there used to be a big laminated sheet that a club could use to track their progress. Time's up, bye.
This training. You did great.
All right, the next one, we'll go back to the Zoom team.
Woo, Zoom team.
Zoom team. Oh, so maybe the Zoom team will explain okay, the questions are there. One, and then I'm going to be able to hear this over here.
That's what it is. I just brought the speaker over to my phone because I already have the driver for it.
Oh,
So I want to be person.
yeah.
Let's do another.
Another in person?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I have to get back this up. Sorry, Zoom in. Technical difficulties. So Tim C, will you be able to send your representation?
I'll be speaking for the Zoom team.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dan Murphy, representing Distinguished Team C. Give it up, yeah. What is the value of a club success path to the club? We identified a couple, I think, very crucial metrics, if you will. One was looking at how well the members are progressing through level one, getting through level two, making progress on their pathways. A lot of new members get excited about club contests. Of course, you need to complete level two before you're eligible. That's a great incentive. More to the point, we talked a little bit about how that is the best motivator to get people immersed in their pathways project. They need to see and feel that they're making progress, learning some new skills, and be incentivized to move to those next levels in pathways.
Wow.
The other thing we mentioned was perhaps annual plans might even be broken into 6-month plans, maybe from midsummer to the end of the year, and then revisit that plan at the beginning of the next year. Our club in particular has found that when it's an annual plan, it starts out with all this energy and enthusiasm, and 6-7 months later, like, oh yeah, I guess we were supposed to do officer training. Yeah, okay. Some of the goals you felt so excited about tend to fall by the wayside. So moving on to question 6, unless there's any other additions from our distinguished team. Thank you. Question 6, what resources can you send to a club having trouble retaining members, which I think is critical? We came up with several things. First, look at make sure their website is up to date. Make sure people are aware of what's going on with that club, their meetings, special events, and so forth. Perhaps schedule an open house or a special event where then you can reach out to prospects, bring them in, they see the energy, enthusiasm of the club. And sometimes that motivates people who are sort of treading water in the club and not feeling motivated to work towards progress on their pathways. Another key point, almost an exit interview process, where if somebody decides, hey, I'm not going to renew, take the time to find out what's going on. Maybe it's something in their life. Maybe they're moving out of town. Maybe it's family issues, but sometimes it's like, well, I didn't get what I thought I was going to get out of the club. We need to know that so the club can then address that issue for future members. And finally, testimonials. why not have a few video clips on your website for people who are enjoying the club, finding value, progressing through their pathways, get those messages out there so the people who are, again, a little ambivalent about their membership and their progress could say, hey, maybe I'll stay. Thank you.
Now, I think we shall move on to the Zoom team and let me mute here. To the Zoom team and let me mute here.
Someone online to say something.
Hello, I'm representing the Zoom team. So the very first question, sorry, my mic was having some issues. So I'm using my work laptop. So what challenges that club experiences can be identified by reviewing the data in the dashboard? We discussed that one of the many clubs want to get the presidents distinguished. And in order to achieve it, you have to have the correct number of members. So the first thing that you need to look at is the club getting the members that they need? Or is it going up? Are they hitting their goal? Have their numbers dropped since the beginning of the year? In order to even get the points for each level that they complete, you have to make sure that they're getting the members. And if they're not getting that, why? And so these are things that are important to have before you go into the club meeting. Because once you're in there, you can talk to them, say, maybe something happened in the club. Maybe people are just busy at work. Maybe they just haven't been reaching out as much. Maybe they've been focusing on the levels instead of trying to get new people in. So that's the first one that it can accomplish. And then once they hit their members, they can continue to focus on how many levels they've completed this year. I think you have to do 4 level 1s, 4 level 2s, 2 level 3s, 2 level 4s, and 1 level 5, or 1 level 4, 1 level 5, somewhere in there. So once they have the members correct, then they can move on and start focusing on how many level 1s do we have, how many level 2s, how can we break this up so it's not a big scramble at the end of the year so we can hit President's Distinguished, which every club should want to do. So those are 2 ways that you can really use the data in the dashboard to help the club. The second question that we were talking about is, so we need to review the membership orientation portion of the club director club visit report. What challenges related to membership orientation might you expect to observe during a club visit? The main thing we discussed is, are new members and our guests getting an opportunity to speak, to be engaged? The worst thing a club can do is only allow older speakers to speak and give only them the opportunity. Yes, they'll probably have more opportunities, but even a guest should be able to join in table topics. Maybe say something about what they liked or what they didn't like, or an observation that they noticed by the end of the club. If you walk into a club and it's only older members talking to older members and the guests aren't getting engaged, they're not being involved, nobody's talking to them, they're not going to want to come back. So in order to make sure that a club is healthy, we need to make sure that the older members and the new members are all getting a chance to engage, and that the newer members feel like they want to come back, like they're appreciated and they enjoyed their time and they had fun. The other thing is making sure that the newer members get mentors. All of this will help people want to come back, want to continue engaging, want to build the club to be better than where it is now. And this will allow clubs to enhance and be better and hit President's Distinguished. Thank you. Back to you.
Now then it will be the team D.
Happy. Just a
Can you
second.
hear myself?
Is it better?
Yeah. Now.
Thank you, Ellen. All right, it's good to be here. My name is Oksana Wilkie. Many of you know my name.
And I represent distinguished team D. And the question that we got was, looking at the dashboard, how would you prioritize clubs to visit and why? So we concluded that we would start with struggling clubs. Looking at the dashboards, we'll see how they're doing in terms of educational goals. Do they need some help with pathways? If they don't know what to do about pathways, we would send them to pathways office hours. If they struggle with membership renewals, we'll see how, we'll recommend them how to retain members, how to engage them. If they need new members, we would send them resources and give them ideas on how to gain new members. Something that was new to me, Susan mentioned that it's good to look at the previous year's dashboards of your club, since some of the data might be still, not there when you start. And another good idea, I think, from Megan was about corporate clubs. If you have corporate clubs, sometimes I have, I think, too. So sometimes it might take you some time just to get into the club. So it's better to start reaching out sooner rather than later. And the next question is, what would you expect to change in the dashboard information in the next 2 months? And why? As we all know, this is a time when we have offices training. The next one is coming up next Saturday. Yoo-hoo! So that's one of the things to check in with your clubs. Do they know about upcoming offices trainings? And just send them all the links for registration and all the information. Some other things that we might see in August, there'll be a new baseline. So the number of required members will be updated. So this will be in August. And some clubs might steal a reminder to submit this officers list, finally. So this is admin task. So those are the 3 things we thought about. If we missed anything, please let us know.
So with that, thank you.
You guys are on mute.
Everybody else. So we're still working on this. It's trying to be a one pager, but
We can hear you now.
I have one. I have one for club membership goal, like how each member can set the goal for the year. And I have one.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So with that, I think that should be. Yeah. So it's supposed to be a question, but I talked too long. So we leave the question to later. And if we have time, and then the
survey later.
the survey later.
Yeah, but thank you, Evan. Okay, we are running about 15 minutes behind, but I'm still going to give you a 10-minute break. So please come back at 5 after the hour. And then Zoom attendees, be ready to be on camera because we're gonna do a picture in the front with everyone who's here virtually and in the room. So take a break. See you in 10 minutes.
Thank you.